Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Allahumma faqihna fid din. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutaqabbala. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So here we are with our session number 64. Alhamdulillah. So we will start our session with a question from Sister Aranas. There was a question that I would like to address, number one, and then we will start our review for today's session. So before I answer the question, I would like you all to answer what are the types of khabar that you have learned in Jumla Ismiya? How many types of khabar have we learned so far? 3. Alhamdulillah. And what are those? It can be mufrad ism, yes, Jumla Ismiya, or Jumla Failure. Barakallahu feek. So these three are the main types of khabar. So you can find in your Jumla Ismiya your khabar that is a Jumla Ismiya itself, another Jumla Ismiya, a Jumla Ismiya within a Jumla Ismiya, or you can find a Jumla Failure as your khabar. So let's go to this part of the question. I think it was in the slide here. لَعَلَّكُمْ. So when I see la'alla, what kind of word it is? If someone can remind real quick. Inna wa ikhwatuha. It belongs to the category of haruf which are called haruf nasiba, right? La'alla, la'alla is one of the haruf nasiba, right? That makes a word or which is actually in the mubtada of a sentence, it makes it nasb status. Remember? Inna, anna, ka'anna, laita, la'alla, lakinna. Do not forget that. So when you see la'alla, now you know, since it always attaches itself to a mubtada of a sentence because it is from one of the haruf nasiba, my haruf nasiba is making my mubtada mansoob. So it is now going to be, the mubtada is now going to be called ismu la'alla. And after I figured out ismu la'alla, the next step is I will figure out khabru la'alla, right? Khabru la'alla, right? So after ismu la'alla, khabru la'alla is going to come. Yes, because it is ismul Allah, therefore kum is going to be nasb status. Otherwise, if it was not nasb status, it would have been antum, right? If it was just, not nasb status or rough in status, it would be looking like antum, right? When you see any pronoun in this form, it is either nasb or jar, right? Kum can only be nasb or jar. So then you figured out now the mubtada is taken over by harf nasb wa ismuha. So this is again the subject of your sentence. You look for predicate, and you have learned in Arabic 3 types of akhbar. As you have already told me, it can be mufrad ism, jumla ismiya, jumla failure, right? So here, what kind of a jumla what kind of a khabar you are seeing? Number one, you are seeing jumla failure. So jumla failure is khabru la'alla, khabru la'alla. Okay, and it is going to be again fi mahalli raf'in, since it cannot, the sentence cannot show its marfu status. Yes, mudare is marfu here, but in terms of, when we are doing raf nasb jar, here we are talking about ism world. We are not taking into consideration the fail world yet, okay? Because we are dealing with jumlas right now, and those jumlas that are jumla ismiya, okay? Is this clear? Everyone on board with this concept? Everyone understood this? Sister Anas, yes, it is khabar. It is khabar of your sentence, and tattaqoon is your jumla failure. Again, you will see your file is waw, and then it is corresponding to your, it is in sync with your subject, which is kum, and tattaqoon. When you see ta in the mudare at the beginning, it tells you that the pronoun here is antum, right? And everything is in sync. So yes, it is your khabar. And since it is not like muttaquna, It is not like muttaquna. Therefore, we are going to call it, when the sentence is a khabar, you always call it fi mahalli raf'in in case of standard jumla ismiya. Yes, here you only have one type of khabar, but your sentence can have different akhbar. Yes, one predicate, one subject can have different predicates. Remember that as well, okay? In one verse or in multiple verses, you will see one subject can have different types of akhbar. Yes, it is possible. It is possible. Yes. And but you will not go into detail of that. You will start with the very start. Always remember, you start, if you stay at the, at the beginner level and try to grasp the concept, everything is going to be easy. Okay, so you started with I just asked you to skip this part yet and start with wudu is your fail amr, fa'il is antum because of waw is there. Rabbakum, rabba is maf'ul bihi, kum is attached pronoun, majroor bil idafa. Allazi, allazi. What is the status of allazi? We did it last in our last session as well. It is ism mawsul. It is ism mawsul. But what is the status of this ism mawsul? We did it in our last session as well. It is nasb in status because it is a. Why is it nasb in status? Who can answer this? Mawsuf was sifa. Yes, it is a sifa for rabba, right? Rabba, mu'arraf, bil idafa, because it has been made proper. It is proper because of its mudaf ilayhi. Kum was proper, rabba became proper, right? So then singular, both are singular. Rabba is singular, allazi is singular. Both are masculine. And status wise, allazi is non-flexible. So if nasb works for us, so we'll call it nasb in status. With me so far? Then you went on to, when you figured out your ism mawsul, the next step is what? You look for your silatul mawsul, and your sila was starting from khalaqakum, khalaqakum, right? And then again you khalaqakum wallazina, it was again matuf, right? Min qablikum, what is min qablikum? Jar wal majroor, and this is an idafa as well. So we have labeled it as, it is you don't, because you don't, do you see any fail here in your sila? Do you see any fail? It is shubu jumla, right? So just call it shubu jumla mutalliq bil mahzuf sila. So you don't need to memorize this difficult term at this stage. You have been taught three types of silas, right? Jumla ismiya, jumla fi'liya, shubu jumla, which could be, don't remember shubu either. If you don't want to memorize it, that's fine. Just call it jar wal majroor and idafa. That should suffice at this stage, and then you will learn how to properly label it. Okay, because so that you don't confuse yourself. First grasp the very basic, and then you cannot, if somebody starts teaching a very beginner different types of recitation, will they be able to understand them? That let me teach you verse, let me teach you Hafsa Nasim, and the person does not know how to even properly pronounce the letters, right? It does not work, right? So you have to be firmly grounded in whatever stage you are at, and we all have to be. It applies to all of us, and this is the principle of learning, my dear sisters. Okay, so now, so the sifa for Rabba, the sifa of Rabba ends where, my dear sisters? Who can tell me where is the end of the sifa? Should I call it, your sifa started with allazi, yeah, right? Right? Think about it again. Okay, let me, no, let me tell you. Allazi khalaqakum وَالَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِكُمْ. This here, this here, this here is entire Silatul Mawsul. The whole thing is Silatul Mawsul. How is it this part Silatul Mawsul? Through atf, through atf, through atf, right? The entire part is Silatul Mawsul, okay, through atf. Now comes, remember that, okay? So you started here. So Silatul Mawsul goes with what? Is it, can it be separated from its mom? No. So your sila will end where? Your sila is ending where? Where did I end your sila? Qablikum, I ended it there. Qablikum, I ended there. Now understand it. Your Rabb, the one who, he created you all and those who came before you all. Did Allah not create those who came before us? Yes or no? And you have grammatically figured everything out, my dear sisters. You are calling walazina matuf of kum, right? Kum was matuf alayhi, waw harf atf, allazina matuf. Everything was connected. So how can you throw one part away from the other? Hands and fingers, okay? Hands and fingers stay together, right? So now this whole entire thing is the sifa for Rabba. Make sense or no? And now understand, don't jump on anything, I need to know the Arabic terminology, this, that. I'm not even, we are not going there, okay, yet. We need to focus on basic concepts, okay? Why Bayina succeeded? Why this program, Bayina's program succeeded? Because they did not focus on what was not needed to be focused on. Simple, very simple, yes. This is sila, khalaqakum wallazina min qablikum. But your sifa, since allazi was sifa, right? Allazi was sifa for rabbakum, right? Rabbakum, for allazi, wasn't it? So all together. So where is your, basically, what is going to be going in the bucket of maf'ul bihi? Where is the bucket of maf'ul bihi starting and ending? Can somebody point out where is my maf'ul bihi starting and where is it ending? Qablikum, yes, you're right, absolutely right. So your maf'uls started from rabbakum, then came its sifa, allazi was the sifa, and then you will just write sifa, and that is understood that your bucket ended at qablikum. Then comes another sentence, as I always tell you, la'allakum inna anna ka anna layta la'alla lakinna. What are you going to think about now? Jumla ismiya. Very well done. Very well done. This is my new sentence. And now I'm going to deal with this new sentence, and then we'll see how we can, connect it to whatever was before. At this stage, you are going to label it as new jumla ismiya, and it is jumla ta'liliya. You don't need to focus on that at this point. I don't need to go into that, okay? At this point, keep everything, we will keep everything very simple and straightforward, so you understand it and you are able to then, put Arab on very difficult grammar concepts as well, okay? Inshallah. Okay, now let's just do this one together and see how much you can know. Okay, is the khabar for la'allakum? Yes, my dear sister. Yes, it is the khabar fi mahalli raf'in, right? As we always, if there is a sentence, we just add the term fi mahalli raf'in. Yes, it is mudare marfu, but that is mudare world. But we are dealing with jumla ismiya, therefore we just call it fi mahalli raf'in, right? Everyone with me so far? Alhamdulillah. So now look at this one. Fabaddala. Forget about fa, because I don't know the context. So fa can be of 10, 15 types. So we'll not go there. Focus on baddala. What do you think about baddala? Fail madin, very well done. And who is the doer here? Who is the doer? Very well done. And can you see, my dear sisters, the doer? Who can see the doer and tell me? Okay, okay, very well done. You okay? But if I just focus on badala, if I just focus, yes, very well done, my barakallahu feek, barakallahu feek. But if I just focus on badala, we did not see I was just there. So yes, you can see it here. It is mustatir, and then since it is mustatir and mustatir is, if there is nothing after it, it is fail madin. Fail madin, only two forms have damir mustatir, that is huwa and hiya. So now when it is huwa and hiya, I have to look for what? I will look for my, in case of huwa hiya, I look for my outside doer, and do I see one? Right? Allazina is the doer. Okay, now. Okay. Allazina is a mausul. What do you look for now? The first step is first, sila. What are the three types of silatul mausul I have taught you so far? Just tell me the three types. Don't tell me what kind of sila you are seeing today. We'll go there. Jumla ismiya, jumla feiliya, and my jar majroor and zarf idafa, right? Shubhu jumla. Some have memorized those. Barakallahu feek. Yes. Jumla ismiya, jumla feiliya, shubhu jumla. Barakallahu feek, my dear sisters. And I don't even have to force anything on you, but you force it on yourself. So that is a sign of a true believer. Okay. So what kind of a sila you are seeing right now after allazina? Barakallahu feek. You're seeing jumla failure. So zalamu, what do you see? Doer. Every fail has a doer. Do you see a doer here? Hum is the doer, and it is in the form of wow. Very well done. So now they wronged. They did wrong. Okay, they did wrong. What is baddala means? To change something. So for baddala allazina zalamu, those who did wrong changed. Okay. Now, what do you think? Where is my sila ending? What do you think is the ending of my sila? Now, this is how you will learn things. And sometimes with the context, sometimes, you will you will see here and there, you have to see here and there. Okay. Those who did wrong, they did wrong, qaul, they did wrong, qaul. Make sense? No, it does not make sense. So my sila ended where? My sila ended with zalamu. Let me just highlight it, and so that for future, this is going to be, I think, go in your slides, and you will be able to, when you review for yourself. So okay, now yes. So yes, that's a translation, and that's going to also help you. Now what is kaulan here? So those who did wrong changed. So now kaulan. What is kaulan? Why is kaulan kaulan? Maful bihi. Very well done, my sister. Sister Samina, tell me, it is maful bihi for zalamu or badala? Tell me, which one? Badala. Badala. Make sense? Right? Sometimes you have to use common sense. You don't do zulm on words. Sometimes you do, but like people, um, when they start speaking foreign language, and I personally do sometimes. But that's that. Yeah, but keep that in mind, okay? So, but it has to make sense too. Okay, it has to make sense too. And this is why we practice. And that otherwise we would have given you, okay, these are our notes. Follow these notes. Go to Bayina, see the lectures, and you will be good, right? We are not doing that, right? So now, غير الذي, can you by any chance connect قولا and غير? And if you forget about الذي, can you don't forget about anything. Let's connect these two. Can you connect these two? Barakallahu feek. Barakallahu feek. Very well done. It is an idafa, and very well done. Well, very well done. So what's the status of al-lazi here? Jar, very well done. And we have learned this. Your ism mawsul can be in a fragment, in a sentence, and we have done all that, right? So غير الذي, it is majroor. Kila is passive, and this is a very because it has wow in it, so it's an irregular kind of a passive that you know it is. But remember, this is past passive. Okay. So what is Kila? If it is past passive, so what is Kila doing here? After Mosul, I have to look for Silatul Mosul, right? So Kila was my Silatul Mosul. And Lahum, if I see Lahum, after a fail, there is Jar wal Majroor. What should I label? Very well done. First step first. Qila lahum. Mutalik bil fail. Very well done. That is called a good job. And that is actually called an excellent job, I would say. Okay? Everyone with me so far? Yes. So proud of you all. Okay, so this is a month which is Mubarak. Little is more. You eat very little and you sleep very little, but it is enough for you. And make sure you are, you spend a very little time, but you gain a lot. Okay, inshallah. So now there is a way you can connect qawlan and ghaira. Okay, and that is the advanced concept. I will leave it today. Okay, I'm not going to go into that. In my shelf upstairs. Babashir. Babashiril lazina. What is that? Bashiri. Okay. Is any madi that I have taught you that ends with kasra? Okay, the sisters who are telling me this is fail amr, give me the reason. Give me the reason. Why is it ending with kasra then? It is an amr, it was bashir. Bashir, right? It was bashir. So why is it kasra there? Because of connection. Yeah, you have to make connection. So we have done it. It's for the tajweed reasons. At this stage, you can just simply say that it is there for tajweed reasons. Okay, that is good answer. Okay, from everyone, I will take it as a perfect answer. Okay, so this was Bashir. So who is the doer? Every fail has a doer. Every fail Amar has a doer too. Who is the doer here? Anta. Can you see the doer? You cannot. It is so. If the doer is not visible, it is hidden. What do you call it? I don't want you to forget whatever we have learned. Mustatir. Barakallahu fi. So now you have fail and you have a doer. Do you look for an outside doer here? No, right? You don't look for an outside doer, right? So allazina. What is allazina doing here? If it is not a doer, sentence is jumla. What kind of a sentence is this? Yes, very well done. It is answering your who question. It is your maf'ul bihi. What kind of a sentence we are arabifying right now? We are arabifying our jumla failure, and we looked at the fail, we looked at the file, and now comes our maf'ul bihi. Everyone with me so far? Fail, file, maf'ul. Order is right? The sequence is correct? Everyone agrees or no? Fail, file, maf'ul. Okay. Your maf'ul is ism mawsul. When you look at your ism mawsul, the next step is what? Sila, sila, sila. What kind of sila is there? Three kinds of silas. Jumla failure. Do you see? So amanu. What kind of jumla failure do you have? Hum madin. Where is a pronoun? Again, jumla failure. Have to look for file. Wow is the file. Barakallahu fi. Then comes your wow. What are you calling it? At. Harf at. Amilu. Same. Jumla failure. Madin. Wow is the doer. as-salihati. They did. What did they did? Righteous deeds. At this stage, you are going to call it maful bihi. I will take it as a right answer. And inshallah, in near future, will when we will learn advanced concept, then we'll inshallah go into what is the more precise labeling for as-salihati. Okay. At this stage, that is absolutely correct. So your silatul mawsul started from amanu, and then you had waw, and everything is connected, right? Everyone with me so far? Then comes your last verse on this page, anzalna. What are we seeing here? Anzalna. Jumla failure. Very well done. Who is the doer? After I start my jumla, the fail is anzal, and then na is my doer. Everyone with me? Is it visible? Na, naul fa'ilain, fa'ilin, right? Everyone can see the doer. Naul fa'ilin, very unique na. Previously, in the past, we used to learn it can only be nasb or jar, but what's the status of this na? Tell me the status. I need the status, my dear sisters. Everyone has to tell me the status of this na. It is rough in status, right? It is rough in status. So when you see na, if somebody shows you just na, you have to tell them it can be rough, it can be nasb, it can be jar, right? Though it is an attached pronoun in all these cases, but this is unique. It can be all three statuses, right? Al-lazina. What's the status of al-lazina here? It is jar in status because of fragment jar wal majroor. After anzalna, you are seeing al-lazina. What are you going to call it? And I did not finish my question, and answers are coming. So proud of you all. Mutalik bil fail. You have al-lazina there. What are you going to look for? Tell me. Sila, sila. Do you see one? Do you see one? Jumla failure is the sila. Zolamu. So we send down, so suffice it, if you don't mind, if you can just put a translation here as well, so that, because I remember in my first batch, I always used to let them do with translation. So that might help our new sisters as well to figure out, if somebody is not someone who have covered word to word. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we send down upon those who they did wrong. Okay, now comes rijzan. Rijzan translated as punishment. Okay, so translated as punishment. So it is maful bihi. So it is maful bihi for what? Your answers are absolutely right, my dear sisters. Tell me, it is maful bihi for which fail? Because you see two af'al there. Anzalna, right? Right? So where did your sila ended? Where did your sila end? Your sila tul mawsul was just again zalamu, right? Rijzam minas samai. They are connected somehow. They are all going to be together. And how they are going to minas samai is jar wal majroor. So it is all connected to rijzan. Okay. At this stage, just remember that. Okay. So this one I will leave as it is. I'm not going to go into rest of the verse. I will take you to another one. Let me show you another one. And these are the ones that we have done them, but not so much. Okay. So let's see here. So what were we doing? So 1229, I had to take you to Suratul Baqarah, and I wanted to explain a few things to you because we just did it, but we were rushing through it. So I wanted to take my sweet time with it today, but may Allah give barakah in our time. So let's see here. Al-lazina is there, and it's starting something. Your verse is starting with it. There is nothing that you can connect it to from, it's just, it is just starting. Just think of it like that. So your Jumla Ismiya has started. I have seen some answers that this is the beginning of my Jumla Ismiya. When you have a lazina, what do you look for? You are going to call it Mubtada. Okay. Yes. And that is on the slide as well. Okay. So now, after you have figured out your Mubtada, you are going to, your Mubtada was al-lazina. You are Still, first of all, now, instead of looking for khabar, you're going to look for what? And I see your answers as sila, right? You are going, when your allazina is going to be your mubtada or any of its a mausul, you will figure out your sila first, and then you will look for your khabar. Then is your khabar. So what kind of sila do you have here? So yes, so this thing is again going to be all together. Everyone with me so far? Your silatul mausul is jumla felia, amanu, waw is harf atf, amilu, ma'tuf, as-salihati is, for now you can call it maful bihi. Then comes ulaika ashabul jannah. What do you see here, my dear sisters? And I want Ranas to answer. Ranas, if I give you this verse, this part of the verse, can you put Arab on them? Can you tell me what are you seeing here? Ulaika. Don't forget about Lazina part now. Tell me about Ulaika. What do you think? If I just give you Ulaika, Ulaika is your far pointer, those Ashabul Jannah. Yes, in this case, you will see for your Sila first, and then you will go for your Khabar. Sorry. So, Ulaika Ashabul Jannah. I need Ranaz, what do you think? Ulaika. What kind of a word it is? How will you label this part of the verse? Forget about everything else. If you were just given this part of the verse, Ulaika ashabul jannah. Okay, Ulaika is your ism. So if I asked you, is it a sentence? What kind of a sentence it is? Let me give you that. It is a sentence. What kind of a sentence are you seeing here? Right? Jumla ismiya. Jumla ismiya. Right? Because it was jumla ism, right? Ism is start at the beginning, and ulaika does not have any reason to be nasb or jar, right? It does not have any reason to be nasb or jar. Now, if you are seeing jumla ismiya, what are the parts of jumla ismiya? What do you see in jumla ismiya? You see khabar, and also the first thing is first. You see mubtada, khabar, mutalik bil khabar, right? So what can be ulaika? It is at the beginning of the sentence. Can it be mubtada? Very well done. And then you have figured out your mubtada. Now what are you going to look for? Khabar. Is Ashabul Jannah giving you information about ulaika? Right? Those are the companions of paradise, right? What kind of khabar do you have here? Mufrad ism, jumla ismi, or jumla fe'liya? Mufrad ism, right? Because it is not a sentence. Ashabul Jannah is an idafa. If your khabar is not a jumla, you are just going to put it in the category of mufrad ism, right? Mufrad ism, this cannot be shubu jumla. Don't call it shubu jumla yet, okay? This is not. Those are zarf idafas, right? When we were learning ismul ishara wa mushar alayhi, what was one thing that mushar alayhi must have? Al, right? Hazal bait. Rabba hazal bait. Hazal Quran, right? So al has to be there. Okay. And sometimes bid al even, you can treat it as, you know, you can treat it as sentence, okay? And you will not treat it as fragment, if that's what you meant to ask. So jar majroor not always. No, jar majroor is going to be shubhu jumla, but your zarf idafa, your zarf is going to be included in shubhu jumla. Okay. And ashab has anything to do with time and place? No, it does not. So you can just this is your mufradism. Keep it simple. So ulaika is your mubtada. Ashabul Jannah is going to be your Ashabul Jannah is your khabar. Right? Everyone with me so far? Now go back to Allazina amanu wa amilus solihati. You figured out your mubtada from the beginning. You figured out your sila from the beginning. Your sila ended at a solihati. There is no way ulaika can be connected to whatever is right before, right? Everyone with me so far? Those who believed and they did righteous deeds, they are the companions of paradise. So, what kind of a sentence, what kind of a khabar do we have for our mubtada? Yes, it is khabar, but what kind of khabar do we have? Yes, that is an answer. This khabar is now jumla ism. Make sense or no? Repeat. Okay. Allazina amanu wa amilu solihati. It's a mausul with its sila, right? The sila ended here. There was no way I can connect ulaika to um, whatever was there before. Okay, so the whole thing it will be in the bucket of mubtada. You just call allazina mubtada, and when you write silatul mausul, you don't need to say mubtada mubtada mubtada. No, you just write allazina mubtada fi mahalli raf'in amanu wa amilu salihati silatul mausul. Then comes my another thing, something something else came up. Now what about these people? What about them? Those who believed and they did righteous deeds, what about them? What kind of information are we getting about them? We are getting the information they are the companions of paradise. They are the companions of paradise. Make sense or no? So they are companions of paradise. So is my khabar, when I have my information from ulaika ashabul jannah, so my khabar can be of three types: mufrad ism, jumla ismiya, jumla fe'liya. Here, what kind of khabar do I have? It is jumla ismiya. Jumla ismiya. Everyone with me so far or no? And that is why I'm going to keep on practicing with you. This Ramadan, as I've been telling you all, is a month of revision. Okay, now let's move forward. Hum fiha khalidun. Think about hum fiha khalidun. At this stage, I would tell you focus on this. Yes, the time will come when I will be very short with you and I may be telling you, okay, look what is before it and this and that, and I may get short tempered, but I usually don't try to. But I may say something, but for the most part, I'm going to tell you to look before, but right at the moment, stay in the moment and focus on whatever is highlighted for you right now. Okay, so it is again another jumla ismi. Where is your what are the parts of jumla ismiya? Tell me. Home is your mubtada, and you have already put your answers there. Yeah, right. Home is mubtada, fiha is your mutaliq bil, and khal, because it is jar wal majroor, right? Jar wal majroor, so it is going to be called mutaliq bil khabar in jumla ismiya. And then comes your khaliduna, since it is rough in status. Khalidun, khalidan, khalidin, khalidani, khalidaini, khalidaini, khaliduna, khalidina, khalidina. Rough, marfu ism, it is going to be my khabar, and my khabar is what kind of a khabar in this jumla ismiya? You don't call it muakhar at this point. Don't call it muakhar. Yes, it is after your mutaliq bil. It is after your mutaliq bil, but let's keep it as such. Okay. Yes. Khaliduna is your mufridism, my dear sisters, right? Khaliduna, mufridism, right? Because it is ones who remain there forever. These are ones. When you have a term ones or those, it means that, it is singleism. Khalid is a name, right? Khalid bin Walid. So it's not a fail, it's an ism, right? Yes, just like fasikuna, mu'minuna, muttaquna. So all those words. Make sense? Everyone with me? Okay. When I was teaching you hal, I did not go into that detail, but I did give you some examples. Sometimes you will see sentences, the whole sentence will come up as hal. So those who believed and they did righteous deeds, those are the companions of Jannah while they remain in it forever. Is this, if I don't say while, if I remove while from whatever translation I'm giving you, isn't it seems like, they will remain in it forever is describing the condition of these guys who have done good deeds, and they have not just believed, and they also did good deeds. Huh? Yes, so it is jumla halia. It is jumla halia. We have just touched upon it when in our in the beginning of our second term when I was teaching you hal. But inshallah, we will be doing it more and more when we will finish up our other things, like just like it's a mausul and all that. Okay, inshallah. So does it all make sense for now, my dear sisters? What was the status given to hal? What did I tell you? What should be the status of hal? Nasbin status. So if hal is the nasbin status, what should be the status of this hum fiha khalidun? Very well done. Very well done. Put it in your notes for now. Okay. Put it in your notes. Just like fi mahalli raf'in, fi mahalli nasbin. Barakallahu feek, my dear sisters. Okay. Fi mahalli nasbin. And if at this stage, if you don't write this fi mahalli business, totally fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. You should be at this stage able to find out your mubtada, mutalik bil, and your khabar. That is it. If you are able to find that out, I'm fine with that. Another sentence and focus. Okay. Allazina, jumla ismiya. Okay. Atainahum. After allazina, what do you look for? Allazina is a mausul. Number one, it's a mausul. Number two, I will have to look for my silatul mausul. Do you see silatul mausul? And you always will see silatul mausul. It is not like your damir, which will not be there sometimes. Okay. So jumla fi'liya is your silatul mausul, and atainahum is jumla fi'liya. Ataina is na is what's the doer here? Na is the doer. Barakallahu feek. And this na is called na fa'ilin. And hum is going to be, hum is your maful bihi. We gave them, who did we give? Them. Al-kitaba. Maful bihi number 2. Barakallahu feek. Very well done. So now those we gave, those who, the ones who we gave them the book. What about them? Now what about them? Now comes, you have your information. What do you think about yatluna? Yatluna, jumla failure again. Can you connect this jumla failure to this jumla failure? Or do you think there is something that is changing now? It can be, Sister Ambreen, it can be. It's the same topic, but where is your sila ending? Where will you end your sila now? That is a question. Let me rephrase my question. It's the same. Where is my sila ending? Kitab, right? Kitab is ending my sila. because I cannot connect one fi'l with another just like that, right? Yatluna cannot be connected to my sila, right? Cannot be the part of my sila. That is what I'm trying to tell you. So my sila ended at al-kitaba, right? And then I get an information about what do they do, right? Is it right or no? Everyone is getting it or no? Okay. What is the status of who here? It is nasbin in status. Everyone with me so far? This part, I have to skip it for now because we have not learned the concept. So I have to skip this part. Okay. Okay. Let's do the next one. Allazina amanu. Allazina is some mausul jumla ismiya. Amanu is my jumla failure, which is coming up as my sila, right? Ashaddu, it means more intense. Ashaddu means more intense. So where is my sila ending? Let me, Amanu is the end of my silatul mawsul, right? Amanu is the end of my silatul mawsul. And now, if it is mubtada, I will look for what? I will look for khabar. Okay, so what is my khabar? Ashaddu is my khabar. Okay, this hubbal lillah, I still have to teach this. I'm again going to skip this. Okay, I still have to teach this concept of how to connect this with this. Inshallah, we will do it in our next sessions. Okay, so okay. Ulaika allazina. Ulaika. What do you think? So, what kind of a sentence are we looking at? We are looking at Jumla Ismiya and Ulaika can, what will I give a labeling to Ulaika? What labeling should I give to Ulaika? It is going to be my Mubtada. Those are those. So Allazina. After I have a Mubtada, what should I look for? I should look for my khabar, right? So Allazina is going to be my khabar. And will anyone be confused about, will confuse it as Mausuf Sifa? Can anyone confuse this as Mausuf Sifa? What do you think? It is? Can it be? Can it be Mausuf Sifa? Let me ask you, do you say beautiful girl or do you say she beautiful? Can you ever say she beautiful or beautiful she? Is it a right way to describe someone? Beautiful she, beautiful he, strong he, handsome he? No, it is not right way, right? Or beautiful them, beautiful those. Do we ever do that? So all those words that are vague, like these words, like those, they this one I'm talking about in particular, the ism isharas, they cannot be mausuf. For mausuf, you have to have a concrete ism, like a specific ism, like we have gone over this concept before as well, that huwa cannot be mawsuf, and al aziz al hakim cannot be sifa, right? It cannot work like that. Okay, it will not work like that. Ulaika is is how do you translate as ulaika as? The meaning is those who, right? Those, right? Those people. So when you are, just think in your mind and tell yourself, why would you I find a description for this? Hmm? Make sense or no? You will never find a sifa for he or she. Do you ever in English find a sifa for he, she, or wo? In Urdu, you find sifa for wo. Uh, no, you don't. So why will you do it in Arabic? The same principle applies in Arabic too. You don't do make them mawsuf sifa. So you just are going to call them mubtada, and after calling this mubtada, you are going to simply look for your khabar. And do you see one? Alladhina is there. Ishtarawu dalala. Ishtarawu. What do you think? What kind of a sila it is? Yes, it is there. Is this jumla failure? What? How will you connect a dalala with whatever is before? A dalala. It is your maful bihi. They bartered or they purchased misguidance. Bil huda. How is it connected? Bil huda. How? What is the bil huda first? Jar wal majroor. What are you going to call it? Mutalik bil fail. Everyone with me so far? Is it easy or understood? So your khabar was allazina, and your sila started from ishtarabud dalala bil huda. I hope this is clear. Okay, let's do this one. Wailun, wailun, woe, destruction. What kind of a sentence? Jumla ismiya. What kind of a mubtada? What kind of a mubtada? Common. Why? Yes, it is common. Why? That is a question, right? Number one, beautiful job. Find it, it is common. Number two job, dua, curse. It can be common. So it is from musabbiqat musabbiqat al-ibtida bin nakira, right? So there is allowance. There is allowance for this to be common. Now comes, you found your mubtada. You see lillazina. What is lillazina doing in the sentence? If it is jumla ismiya and you see jar wal majroor, what is this jar wal majroor going to be called? Okay, allazina is your mausul. What kind of a sila you have? Jumla failure. Yaktubuna is mudare or madin? It is mudare. Who is the doer? Sister Sabira, that is something understood. Yes, it is. Tanween is there. That is an indication that this is a common mubtada. But the fact was, we needed to know salamun. Why are these common mubtada? Because I have taught you guys that mubtada is proper, right? That was the thing that I want you not to forget. That what are the conditions when you can see a common mubtada, right? Okay. Yaktubuna, they write. Al kitaba. What is al kitaba doing here? Yes, yes. Al kitaba is your maful bihi. Bi aydihim. idafa too, right? So jar wal majroor and idafa, so you can call it mutalik bil for now, right? Everyone is with me so far? Alhamdulillah. Let's just quickly go back to Tanzil, and let's do a real quick what we were doing. 1 second. Let me just bring it to you. We were finishing off our Surah Al-Baqarah. We just started Surah Al-Baqarah, first page. Everyone understood how this Mawsoof Sifa business worked here? Okay, okay. So you found out that allazina yu'minuna bil ghaibi wa yuqimuna as-salata wa mimma razaqnahum yunfiqun, right? So that was yunfiqun part. Everyone was clear with that because we were just rushing it. What was mimma? Who remembers? Jar wal majroor. It was min plus ma, right? Min plus ma. And one of your silatul mawsul is ma and also man, right? And those are the types that are common or proper? Common, right? Razaqnahum was the sila for this ma, right? And then we could not connect these two afal, right? You these two sila ended at razaqnahum, right? Everyone understood that part or no? So what is the connection between yunfiquna and mimma razaqnahum? Yes, how are we, min plus ma was a mawsul. We looked for silatul mawsul. Razaqnahum was silatul mawsul. Ma is common, one of those mawsul that are most, according to majority scholars, they are common. That kind of is a mawsul. And then comes yunfiquna. Yunfiquna has to be connected with this all part, right? There is no wow between them. There is no connection between them. We called yunfikuna fil mudare marfu bi subut noon, and mimma was jar wal majroor, jar wal majroor mutalik bil fail muqaddam. Jar wal majroor mutalik bil fail muqaddam. Okay? Your sila only is razaqnahum. You just think of it as let me bring it to you for today's session. Okay. Think of it as paste, and then comes your if I give you this part, yunfikuna, they spend, mimma razaqnahum. How will you translate it? So make sense now that it was just brought forward. Hmm? Hmm? Just it is just mutalik will fail brought forward. Hmm? And why ma? Why not allazi? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not talk about anything specific, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, whatever they had, they spent from that. It could be a skill, it could be a talent, it could be good gesture, it could be a smile, it could be, you know, it could be money, it could be anything, so that it is open for us. It is, there is no limitation. For example, if a person is poor and he does not just keep on thinking that I don't have money, I cannot spend anything on anyone, right? We are all blessed in different ways. We all are have been made, special in our by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in different ways. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is telling you that you can spend from whatever you have. Okay, you may have something that your friend does not have, your sister does not have, or your brother does not have, or your parents did not have, right? So spend from whatever you have. We have already provided you, spend from that. Okay, so keep that in mind. But when it comes to al-muttaqeen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very specific about them. Al-muttaqeen, those who are conscious of Allah. Who are those? Allazina. Allazina. See how particular Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Allazina, very specific, proper, very proper. Those who they believe in the unseen. So if you don't believe in unseen, you cannot be muttaqi. وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَا. These are all the conditions for muttaqi. And the condition did not end there. How are we going to connect this to whatever is before? What will be the status of this allazina? Sister Samina, are you there? What status are we going to give this one? This one was jar because of lil muttaqina, because it was a sifa. No. We are still connected. This was something that I wanted to go over. So hudal lil muttaqina, guidance is for those who have attained or who are conscious of Allah, those who they believe in the unseen and they establish the salah, and from what we gave them they spend, and those who they believe bima unzila ilayka wama unzila min qablik wabil akhirati hum yuqinun. So this alladhina is again jar, and I will have to end here. We are already 2 minutes past our time. Inshallah, we will continue from this from this part, inshallah. And your homework is going to be this this part, Suratul Al-Mu'minun, and try to do 1 to 11 and see how much you can do, inshallah. And we will, inshallah, see how much can we complete in next session, inshallah. Okay. So with that, I will end the session. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear sisters. And yes, I'm going to share this thing with you so that you all have something to work on, inshallah. I will share it with Sister Faisa, and she will, inshallah, share it with you. Love you more.